Hi, welcome to my 2024 makeup inventory part 1. I'm Amy and my channel is Beauty and Beyond. So thank you so much for watching today. If it's your first time, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel if you like makeup and beauty content. And if this is not your first video of mine to watch and you're a repeat watcher, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to let me into your home and share my thoughts about all things beauty. Today I'm going to share with you what I like to think of as my workhorse products. These are going to be my foundation, concealers, powders, and a couple of other things to go from here and there. I have a mostly minimal kind of makeup collection. I have certain categories that are my favorites that are not minimal, and I will be sharing those in separate videos. Some of the things that I'm going to share with you today are repeat purchases. They are things that I have used before and have found to be really reliable. I can count on these things to give me a good look, to work well on my skin, and to last for as long as I need for it to last. And some of these things I have grown to love, and I hope that you will see that when I open them up for you. We're going to talk about primers, we're going to talk about setting sprays, we've got some powders. So let's just dive on in. Obviously, I'm sitting in a different spot, so we're going to do this overhead style. And you'll get to take a look at some of the things that I have in my makeup drawers. Let's go. As I said the words, let's go, this boy really got super excited. You will definitely see my puppies probably here and there in today's video, so don't mind their paws. Here are all of the things that I own that are face, concealer, powders, a couple of bronzers, a sunscreen, highlighter, and all of that. So what I'm going to do is organize these things by category, and then we will talk about each category one at a time. Here are the things that I am going to call my priming step. I have two sunscreens. One is a mini and it's actually almost finished, and it's the La Roche-Posay SPF 60 Anthelios Melt in Milk sunscreen. This is a very liquidy sunscreen with a white tint that is medium in its cast, I would say. I definitely don't want to use this by itself without makeup because it leaves a white cast on my fair skin. If you have darker skin than me, this would probably not be a good sunscreen for you. I do like this one a lot better, and it's the Good Molecules Sheer Mineral Sunscreen SPF 30. It does say minimal white cast sunscreen lotion for all skin tones, and I would agree with that portion of the minimal white cast. The white cast on this one does seem to blend away good enough to where I can feel confident in wearing this without makeup, and I don't have that white cast to my skin. And this is almost new. I've used it maybe 5 or 6 times, so this will be my main sunscreen for the year. I try not to have too many sunscreens because they expire, and when they're expired, they are no good, and I don't want a sunscreen that's no good. Next, I have my 2 primers. So primer is not a step that I really use a whole lot anymore, and I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to finish both of these up. I might try, but we'll see. I'm not going to force myself into it. This one I got at the beginning of 2003. And it's the Smashbox Photo Finish Controlling Mattifying Primer. I enjoy this when I have a foundation that's just a little too dewy. And that's why I bought this last year, because I felt like my foundations were just too dewy. And I felt like I needed something to counterbalance that. And this did a really good job of that. I don't have a lot of foundations that are dewy. So it doesn't get as much use as it did when I first bought it. The next one I have is a small, like mini size of the Ulta Beauty Poreless Face Primer, which I'm assuming is going to be very similar to this. And since this is a mini size, I bet that I could get that used up within a few months. I haven't even opened up the seal on this, so it's definitely not used. Let's dive into color correctors and concealers. Right at the end of 2023, I really wanted to explore color correctors. I have very dark circles and bags under my eyes, and it was only getting worse as I get older. So I wanted to try to help out my concealers by doing a little bit of correcting before I go in with a concealer, so the concealer doesn't have to work so hard. I got these 3 color correctors, and this one is my favorite so far. It is the e.l.f. color corrector. It's the camo color corrector, and this is the shade Peach. And I feel like this is really peachy enough for me. And it offers just the right amount of peach for the blue tones that I have in my dark circles. So this is one of my favorites so far. This one would be my second favorite, and it's the Flower Beauty color corrector in light peach. And I feel like this is not quite as peachy as the other one, but still peachy. Still peachy enough to where it can do a good job of counteracting the blue tones. And it's a little creamier, where this one is liquidy. This one's a little creamier, so it stays in place a little better. This one is from Clinique, and it's the Even Better All Over Primer and Color Corrector. This one I think I will just mostly use as a concealer, because I don't feel like this is peachy enough. If you will kind of notice that it's a little brighter, and even on the camera it looks a little yellow, whereas in real life it does look a little peachy. But you can see like the difference between this really deep peach and this peach. This is the one that I need because my under eyes need a lot of help. And here are the 3 concealers that I have. This one is from Bare Minerals, and it's the concealer in the shade Summer Bisque. And I actually don't use this too much as a concealer. I rather use this sometimes to set as like a powder. And sometimes I'll do it if it's like a church day on Wednesday and I haven't put makeup on at all day long, and I just want to look a little more evened out in my skin tone, like around my eyes especially, I can buff this into my skin for a more finished look without having to go ham on like concealer or foundation. So this powder concealer really does do a great job for that purpose for me. The Hourglass concealer, this is the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. I bought the wrong shade. Man, Birch is the lightest shade that you can buy in this concealer, and that's the one that I picked up. But I really like this concealer a lot because I bought a shade that's too light for me. It's very brightening. So I use it with a foundation that I'll show you in a little bit that's a little on the darker side. So this kind of helps to kind of lighten that up just a little bit. I would like to try this in a fuller size. This is the mini and of a different color. My favorite concealer though is the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. It is everything that it is built up to be. This is a really great full coverage yet not drying concealer. And the brush is really interesting. It's a little offset, and it has like a little vessel, a little well in the middle of it, so it kind of collects the product, and you just kind of like dot and dot, and a little bit goes such a long way with this. It works really well with my favorite color corrector, and so they do the job together of you know, as best as they can, because I have a lot to fight against. They do a lot for color correcting and making my under eyes look better, for sure. So these two concealers plus this offer all different functions in my beauty routine. One thing I forgot to track with you is last year, or actually at the very end of 2022, I had 4 concealers and no correctors. So right now I have 3 concealers, so less concealers, but I've picked up some correctors, and I'm okay with that because, like I said, I need to try this for sure. Primers, I had 3 primers, and now I have 2 primers, so I was able to use up or declutter 1 primer. And for SPFs, I had 2, and I still have 2, but like I said, this one is almost finished, so I'm really going to go down to 1. And of course, SPF is something that will get used up quite quickly. At the very end of 2022, beginning of 23, I had 6 foundations. 6. And now I have these 3, and these are all new. I did not have these at the time of the video where I did my last inventory. A lot of things either got decluttered to my mother-in-law. She needed some foundations throughout the year last year, or I used them up. So I'm very proud of that. I think I used up at least 3 foundations last year. So I'm really pleased with that progress. This one I am so excited about. I've never had this product from Estee Lauder. It's the Double Wear Stay in Place foundation, and I use the color 1C1 Cool Bone. This is a great full coverage foundation. One way that I try to negate the full coverageness is, one, to use it with a sponge, or in just a little bit I'll talk about this, I use it with this Halo Glow. So it helps add some luminosity to my skin underneath of this sort of mattifying foundation. Next, I have the Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. This is in the shade Nude, and I do feel like also right now this is a little too dark for me, but you know, we're gonna make it work. And it is in this pump glass bottle. If you're not aware, Believe Beauty is a wonderfully affordable drugstore makeup brand that is only available at Dollar General or their website. This is at least the 2nd bottle of this that I have purchased, and I love this foundation so much. It does a great job of staying all day long. It adds a nice amount of coverage. It says medium to full coverage, and I would definitely agree with that. This is something that you should definitely seek out if you're looking for I think it's $6 now. It used to be $5. If you're looking for a foundation that's under $10, go to Dollar General and get you one of these. And this is a 2nd bottle of this that I just got, and I just recently repurchased because I wanted to have something that wasn't like foundation-y, just a little bit of some coverage on like our homeschool days when I go with my daughter to her homeschool group, and that's really the only thing I do. This is great for that. It is the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator, and my only complaint about this is the light to medium shade, and it's dark. And it was dark before too when I bought it, but I just liked the way that it, you know, performed for me. So it's, as you can kind of see, I guess right now, just in the wintertime, I'm really fair, and so I need to probably find a foundation that is a little bit lighter, because where I live now in Missouri, it's going to be winter for a longer time than it was in Texas. So I'm going to be probably lighter than for a longer period of time. Anyway, so all of these 3 foundations are things that I am very happy with, and they all kind of have a different purpose. I don't want to wear the Estee Lauder Double Wear every day because that's an expensive foundation. It's a really nice foundation, and it is a mattifying foundation. So I like to have this as an option to throw in every once in a while, and then this is great for just those you know, not doing a whole lot days. So I went down from 6 foundations to 3, and I'm pretty sure that I will use at least 2 of these up this year. At the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, I had 2 highlighters, and I still have 2 highlighters. Although this one, maybe, I don't remember. It may have been both of these. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter in Be My Highlight, and it's just a really, really wonderful highlight that adds just the right amount of glow without it being glittery or too shimmery. I even sometimes use this as a setting powder because it's just that finely milled, lightweight product. Really, really good. And the next one, like I said, I love to use with the Estee Lauder Double Wear because this adds so much glow. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter, and I believe it's supposed to be a dupe for that Natasha Denona product. It's very, very obvious that that's what it's supposed to be, but I love it. And why buy the expensive one when I can get this one for like $10? A little bit goes a long way with this. I usually use this underneath of makeup, but on occasion I have used it if I found that things were just a little too matte, my blush was too matte, and you know, everything just looked a little too flat. I have used this on top of makeup, and it does a really great job, both on top and underneath of your makeup. The next 2 things that I want to share with you are my bronzers. And the last time I did my inventory, I had 3 bronzers, and now I have 2. This one is a new one. I didn't have this one the last time, and it's a small, I don't know if this is the normal size. I got this for free from Ulta Beauty, and it's the Oh My Glow Cream Bronzer. This is going to be really great for me in the summertime because it's really dark. But what I do is underpainting with this. I will swipe this all over my face and all the bronzy spots, and then put my foundation on top of it, and that's one way that I have found that I can use it. But it is really dark, but it is a great bronzing shade for me. It's not too orange in its bronziness, so I do appreciate that about that. And then this one is the Laguna bronzing cream from NARS, and I had this one last year, and look how she's shining down there on the pan. And my goal is to use this up this year, and I didn't like this at first because it is so light, but I am really appreciating it now in the winter months. It's not great for me in the summertime, but in the winter time it offers just the right amount of depth and dimension to my face, and it's a little cooler toned, so it's not quite as warm as this one. And so they both serve a purpose, and I'm glad to have these 2 bronzers in my makeup collection. At my last inventory, I had 2 powders, and now I have 3, or maybe even like 2.5. This is something I got for free, and it's the NARS Translucent Crystal Powder, which is a white powder. So I use it to kind of brighten up my under eyes. It's very, very, very fine. You don't get a whole lot off of that. So, and it almost feels like foam when you touch it. It's very strange, but I'm glad to have it and try something different. This is one that I have had since 2022, and it's the Jaclyn Hill Brighten Up Powder, and it's a loose powder, obviously, which does a really great job of brightening without being like shimmery or like too reflective. It offers just the right amount of glow, and so I will have a goal to just use this a lot. I am not going to be able to use it up, but I just want to use it more often. And this one I got at the end of 2023, and it's because I just don't want to have to always use a loose powder. I want to have a pressed powder option. So I got the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade Classic Ivory, and it does a really great job of setting my under eyes and my face, and just blending all of the, color steps and the cream steps together in a nice way. And the last thing that I have to share with you is the one setting spray that I own. At my last inventory, I had 3 setting sprays, and now I have 1. And this one is less than halfway done. It's the Urban Decay All Nighter. Does a wonderful job of setting my makeup and making it last all day, just like it says. So here it is, all of the things that set my face up for success before I go in and put on all of the color. These are the products that I know are going to give me just the right amount of coverage, setting, color, and all of the things that I need in order to feel confident about myself. Let me know in the comments below what are your favorites out of all of these categories. I will see you in my next inventory video. Bye. And I think he did a pretty good job of sitting in that chair and protecting the house from all the bad guys.